have a book review for you today, and this one's kind of a book review, kind of a play review. It's Othello by Shakespeare. I reread it, but it's a play. The only other time I had it on Goodreads was 7 years ago. I read it in 2010 in high school, apparently, but I'm pretty sure I've read it more than just once. It just only made it on Goodreads once until now. So I reread this for my Shakespeare in opera class this semester. So we talked about the play yesterday, and we're going to be watching Verdi's opera, Othello, next class period, which we only meet once a week, so it'll be next Tuesday. So if you don't know what Othello is about, it's this couple that fall in love, and basically there's this bad guy that convinces Othello to be really jealous, and makes him think that his wife is cheating on him when she can't even conceive of the thought of cheating on her husband, and he ends up killing her. I don't usually like to do spoilers, but I mean, it's Shakespeare, it's a little different.
If you haven't read it since the 16th century, you should expect a couple of spoilers.
Alex is filming for me. So,
if you couldn't tell by the shakiness here, she hasn't fed me yet.
You're perfectly capable of feeding yourself.
That's what I tell you, but you forced me to feed you.
Okay, I'll feed you when I get done.
Love you.
I love you too. So, it's a tragedy. And tragedies and comedies and all of that are a little bit differently defined in Shakespeare time than they are now. The short way that I personally define a Shakespearean tragedy is everybody dies at the end, i.e. most of the important characters are dead by the end of the play. I could go all literary Shakespeare analysis on this, but I'm a Shakespeare nerd, you've been warned, but I'm going to spare you from that. If you do have questions about this, please feel free to ask them in the comments or about it or anything like that, because I love talking about Shakespeare. What else did I want to say about this?
That it was a request, I guess.
I guess. When I hauled all my textbooks, my first part of my junior book haul, somebody said they were interested in what I thought of the Shakespeare plays. So I figured I would do reviews on them because I need to start doing reviews anyway and getting better at them.
More exciting than makeup.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Shakespeare, especially for his time, which was mid-16th century to the early 17th century, so mid-1500s to the early 1600s, he's really good at having female characters that are treated as people and not as women. If you're familiar with that time period, you'll know what I mean. His characters would fit perfectly fine in today's society. They're not just a product of his society. He's really good at talking about things ahead of his time. How women are treated. Race is a big topic in this, because Othello is he's dark-skinned, basically. There's a lot of things Shakespeare's really good at talking about ahead of his time. So this one, it has a lot about race in it. Othello is he's, like I said, dark-skinned. Desdemona, his wife, is from Venice. She's pale like me, although she's probably not as pale because Venice is Italy, Venice is Italy, so she's probably a bit more tan, but
yes, baby, Venezia is Italy.
I'm geographically challenged. Okay.
Venice,
and I wanted to
Rome,
make sure before I said it out loud.
Florence, Bologna.
And then, of course, this big theme in this is jealousy, which is obvious, but then it also talks about marriage and the different kinds of marriage. For instance, Othello and Desdemona start out with a kind of marriage where they really love each other. It's the kind of marriage that nowadays we would expect. And Iago and his wife, Emilia, basically Iago looks at her as just, a materialistic thing, an object. She's there for sex or for whatever else he wants from her. And that's honestly how he looks at all people. Okay, what can I get out of you? And then there's Cassio and Bianca, and they aren't even married because Bianca is a prostitute or whatever you want to call her. But at the same time, when you hear her speak, she doesn't seem like it. And she wants to be married to Cassio. Cassio just doesn't get it. And there's a lot of stuff going on in this play. If you have problems with the language, just read it twice. Read it and watch it and read it. Watch it and then read it. If you must, get a No Fear Shakespeare. Yeah, I'm an elitist, I know. But yeah, I definitely recommend this. Go read it. Like I said, we're going to be watching Verdi's opera Othello next week, which I believe my teacher said starts at Act 2. Excuse me. Yeah. I think that's all I had to say about this. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment boxes, things. Yeah, I'm awake.
No, you're not.
And I would love to talk about this with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.